Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're taking a hard look at something that might make you just a little bit uncomfortable: the false sense of security we all get from standard multi-factor authentication. MFA. We're going to completely shatter the illusion that standard MFA makes your organization invincible. But hey, don't worry, we aren't just here to share the scary stuff. Our main goal today is to show you exactly how to empower your employees to act as an active, highly effective defense layer against modern Microsoft 365 attacks. Let's get right into it. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit 1, the MFA illusion; 2, the new phishing playbook; 3, M365 built-in defenses; 4, modern anti-phishing training; and 5, the automated safety net. Starting right off with section 1, the MFA illusion: why standard protection is failing. To really understand the sheer scale of the problem we're dealing with, just look at this number: 8.3 billion. Microsoft Threat Intelligence detected 8.3 billion email-based phishing threats in just the first quarter of 2026 alone. That is literally around 90 million attacks every single day. It's a relentless, overwhelming wave. And standard defenses, well, they're really struggling to keep their heads above water. Enter the adversary in the middle, or AITM attack. This right here is exactly the technique cybercriminals are using right now to render your standard SMS and push notification MFA completely meaningless. Unlike old-school phishing that just wants to guess your password, an AITM attack uses a reverse proxy to intercept the entire authentication flow, including those MFA codes. Why go through all that trouble? To steal the absolute ultimate prize, your session cookie. The life cycle of an AITM attack is elegantly simple, but honestly, it's devastating. First, an employee clicks a pretty convincing link. Next, they enter their credentials into what looks like a perfect clone of the Microsoft login page, but it's actually hosted on the attacker's proxy server. Step 3, the user approves the standard MFA prompt on their phone, which the proxy faithfully relays straight to Microsoft. Finally, Microsoft issues the session cookie thinking everything is totally fine, but the attacker intercepts and steals it. Just like that, they have full access to your emails, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive. No password or MFA prompt ever needed again. Now, it's absolutely crucial to contrast AITM with the older concept of a man-in-the-middle attack, because people mix these up all the time. A classic man-in-the-middle relies on passive eavesdropping on a local network. Think a vulnerable coffee shop Wi-Fi. But an adversary-in-the-middle attack, that's an active reverse proxy hosted via a phishing link. It literally doesn't care where you are. In fact, 44% of AITM attacks occur completely outside the Office network. Which brings us to Section 2, the new phishing playbook: bypassing the software. Since attackers know they can bypass standard MFA by stealing session cookies, they're getting super creative. They're aggressively inventing bizarre, highly evasive new ways to trick your employees into clicking their malicious links in the first place. You absolutely have to train your team to recognize these modern delivery methods. We're seeing a massive 146% surge in QR code phishing, also known as quishing, often embedded right into PDF attachments, so text scanners just can't read them. There's also the abuse of malicious OneNote files to drop payloads by bypassing standard macro blocks. And this one is wild. Attackers are using fake capture-gated HTML pages to hide their phishing links from automated security scanners. This works terrifyingly well because, let's be honest, we're all conditioned to blindly click CAPTCHAs to prove we're human, right? And they're deploying all of this at an incredible scale using phishing as a service kits like Tycoon 2FA. Moving on to Section 3, M365 built-in defenses: setting the baseline. Okay, before we tackle the vital human element of our defense, we've got to briefly lock down the technical baseline within Microsoft 365. You have to give your employees a fighting chance by stopping the obvious junk first. Think of this as building a digital deadbolt system. You really need to tune Exchange Online Protection and Defender for Office 365. That means enabling safe links and safe attachments for time-of-click protection and sandboxing suspicious files before they ever hit an inbox. You also need to actively configure spoof intelligence, protect your executives from domain impersonation, and rigorously enforce email authentication protocols like SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Basically, mathematically proving your emails are actually coming from you. But here is a massive reality check, captured perfectly in this quote from the security firm Huntress. Because these attacks hack people rather than software, human error is usually the culprit. I absolutely love this insight. No matter how perfectly you tune those M365 technical filters, at the end of the day, the bad guys are targeting the psychology and the inbox habits of your employees.
And that perfectly sets up Section 4, Modern Anti-Phishing Training, empowering the human firewall.
This is the absolute core of our explainer today. Since attackers are targeting people, we have to fundamentally rethink our anti-phishing training for employees using Microsoft Office 365. We've got to completely shift our mindset here. The old way? Annual, compliance-driven, heavily punitive, terribly boring, and let's face it, usually about shaming people who failed phishing tests. That simply doesn't work. A modern training approach is completely different. It's frequent, it's coaching-focused, it actively rewards users for reporting threats, and it rigorously measures progress over time. We need to treat our employees as an active, intelligent layer of defense, not a liability.
If you follow these 4 coaching steps, you actually empower your staff to act as a highly effective human firewall. Step 1. Simulate often with rotating, highly relevant lures. We're talking fake Microsoft 365 login pages or bogus SharePoint document alerts. Step 2. Coach those who click. Seriously, do not shame them. Use it as a brief, targeted, teachable moment right when it happens. Step 3. Reward users for actively reporting threats. Celebrate those wins. And Step 4. Measure your progress and adjust your simulations quarterly based on the real-world threats your specific M365 environment is actually facing.
Finally, Section 5, the automated safety net, when human error happens.
Look, let's be real for a second. Even with the absolute best, most modern training in the world, human error is inevitable. Someone is going to be stressed, have a bad day, rush through an email on their phone, and boom, they fall for a sophisticated ATM attack. We need to know what happens next. To catch subtle business email compromise cues and mitigate damage instantly, you must layer your environment. First, upgrade to true phish-resistant MFA, like FIDO2 security keys. These are mathematically bound to the domain and actually block those ATM proxies. Next, implement API-based integrated cloud email security. You want to automate your post-delivery threat remediation, so malicious emails are literally ripped out of inboxes the second they're identified. And lastly, utilize a 24/7 managed detection and response team to watch your environment while you sleep. When you put all of this together, you get a view a lot like this Agari incident response dashboard. It shows an automated system actively triaging the exact threats that your newly trained employees are flagging using their reporting buttons. You can actually measure the metrics on discovered messages, remediation rates, and the real risk reduction in dollars and time saved. This right here is the ultimate synergy, a beautifully trained human firewall fully backed up by a rapid, automated technical safety net. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. With 8.3 billion threats evolving daily, is your team an exploitable vulnerability, or are they your strongest firewall? Thank you so much for joining this explainer. I really encourage you to take a hard look at your Microsoft 365 security posture today, reevaluate those modern training methodologies, and make sure your people are fully equipped to defend the front lines. Keep learning, stay vigilant, and we'll catch you on the next one.